Alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to this class in literature. This time we will be looking at the specific genre of literature. It's the genre of the novel. It's one of the most important genres of literature. Arguably, it is probably the most popular genre of literature. This course will look at its emergence, its evolution, and we will have an opportunity to look at examples of prose fiction and novels. So basically the course looks at the rise and the development of the novel as a literary genre in English literature. The first part of the course will look at social and historical developments that made the emergence of the novel possible. And the second part will take a closer look at one of the most important novels that shaped the development of the genre. Aspects of modern fiction that deal with the fragmentation of the moral and spiritual values and its effect on the form and the content of the novel will be stressed. Basically, what it means is that the novel is a genre that emerged because of the development of prose. Unlike poetry, prose has a more detailed a capability to represent reality in a more detailed and minute fashion. So, as the novel developed, the representation of reality became more and more accurate, more and more detailed, and novels became more and more realistic. More and more the stories you read look like everyday life stories. More and more the characters you see look like everyday life characters. But at the same time that this stylistic development is taking place, that the power of the novel to represent reality is becoming more and more noticeable, there is at the same time a realization that this realism is an illusion. There is more and more there is a realization that life as we live it, as we see it, as we witness it, is not realistic. It's fragmentary, it's not coherent. So the coherence that we see in the novel is an illusion because life is not coherent. So there is the novel at this point begins to engage aspects of life that have to do with fragmentation of life, fragmentation of subjectivity, fragmentation of selfhood, and the moral and spiritual vacuum of the modern world, and their effects on the content of the novel will be explored in this course. The objectives of the course are basically two. The first one is to familiarize the student with the historical, cultural, and literary background necessary to understand the modern novel. That's the first one. We have to understand the historical, cultural, and literary background that made it possible for the novel as a genre to develop. The second objective is to help students acquire proficiency in reading modern novels critically. We want the students by the end of this class to be able to read modern novels in a critical fashion, and to acquire, we also want the student to acquire the ability to distinguish styles, structures, and modes of the genre. The methods of teaching are probably familiar to you by now after so many classes. They're basically the same. We will have lectures, PowerPoint presentations, and we will have online live sessions. The textbooks that you need First of all, there is two novels that you need. You need to buy them and read them. The first one is Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe, and the second one is Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. These two novels, you need to buy them and read them, right? For further readings, there is a list here of 3 books that you can consult. You don't have to buy them, but if you want to increase your knowledge, by all means go ahead and get these books, but you can find them in the libraries, or you can share them amongst yourselves. You can make photocopies of parts of them, but you don't have to buy these 3. What you need to buy and read is Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe and Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. These 2, you need to buy them and read them. The lectures in this class are divided into 14 lectures. As you know, the first lecture and the second lecture, these 2 first lectures, 1 and 2, will deal with the emergence and the evolution of the novel. So the emergence and the evolution of the novel, that's 1 and 2. Lecture number 3 will deal with the social and historical background. Lectures 4, 5 and 6 will deal with early novels and novelists, and with the novel Robinson Crusoe will be an example. So for lectures 4, 5 and 6, we will look at Robinson Crusoe as an example of early novels and early novelists. Lecture number 7 will look at the development of the modern novel, and here we will look at examples from Eliot, George Eliot, Henry James and Joseph Conrad. Lecture number 8, we will look at Heart of Darkness, but only at the background of Heart of Darkness, because it's a novel that has very important background. We will look, for lecture 8, we will look at the background of Heart of Darkness. Lecture number 9, we will look at part 1 of Heart of Darkness. Lecture number 10, we will look at part 2, and part 3 of Heart of Darkness will be dealt with in lecture 11. Lecture 12, we will look at the themes and the characters and the points of views and the structure of Heart of Darkness, the technical questions, and then for lecture 13 we will look at the style of Joseph Conrad and the legacy of the novel Heart of Darkness. For lecture 14 we will summarize the entire the main points of the class and basically do a comparison between Robinson Crusoe and Heart of Darkness and try to evaluate what developed, what stayed the same, the characteristics of the novel as a form that evolved, those that disappeared, those that improved, and those that did not. So this is as far as the 14 lectures of this class. Pretty straightforward, as you can see. For the evaluation of the class, you are familiar with it also. You have 30% that's divided between attendance, assignments and topic discussions, 10% each, that gives you 30%, and then of course you have a final exam over 70%, that adds up to 100%. So this is in general a summary and introductory class for the modern novel. It gives you the description of the course, the objectives of the course, the texts that we need. I stress that you need to get Robinson Crusoe, Heart of Darkness and read them, and then a brief breakdown of the 14 lectures that will be given in this course and the parameters that will be used to evaluate the students. I hope that you will enjoy this class and that it will be very beneficial to you and help you improve your capacities to read English texts and improve your English language and your knowledge of English literature. See you in our first lecture, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa ta'ala wa barakatuh.